The heyday, so to speak, of serial murder was in the 70s and 80s. We had far more serial killers back then than we do now. And evidence of that is the fact that when we see documentaries and movies about serial killers, they focus on Bundy and Gacy and the legacy killers of the past. There's really no high profile.
Okay, John, go ahead. What I tell you is what I know is fact.
I'm a power person. I enjoy power. Nobody else had the guts to pull off what I pulled off. I outsmarted you again.
Police today found 6 more bodies
under the home of suspected killer John Gacy.
When you can be walking down the street and if Gacy lay eyes on you, you have now become his next victim.
I know society will never be able to forgive me. I know the families of the victims will never be able to forgive me for what I have done. Your Honor, it is over now.
Welcome all you true crime lovers. Sit back, grab that blanket and hot beverage, and prepare for another Saturday night of The Murder Show. Whose mind and story will we dive into tonight? Now for your host, Tim, and alongside him, his co-host, Criminology, Chris, and Classroom Jackie.
Welcome, everybody, to another fabulous Saturday evening here on The Murder Show. That's right. We are back. We are ready for another fun-filled, eventful Saturday evening here. I am your host, Tim, and alongside of me, I have my co-host, Criminology, Chris.
Hi, everybody. I'm trying out a new mic tonight. Look at me.
It's got pretty lights. And alongside of Criminology, Chris, we have the director of all of our social media platforms, Classroom Jackie.
What's up, guys? I really feel like I'm going to school tonight.
I think we all do, definitely. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in and joining us. Sorry for being a couple minutes late. We were having fun setting up the new mic and all that wonderful jazz. So, anyways, as always, we would like to thank our sponsors. We now have 3 sponsors of the show, and we are very, very grateful for that. Crafty Corner by Laura, which is all the handmade crochet items, jewelry, plushies, and more. Check them out on Instagram at Crafty Corner by Laura and on Etsy. You can also email them at thecraftycornercrochet@gmail.com. I was also told that Laura can crochet a item for you faster than Bill Cosby can prepare a cup of pudding for a guy. So I just, anyways, and then one of our new ones, Dubby Energy Drink. That's right. Head over to dubby.gg. And when you purchase any of their energy products, be sure to use promo code MurderShow66 at checkout, and you will receive 10% off. We have some of their products actually coming this week, and we're going to be giving them a try, but I've been reading nothing but great reviews about them. And then we have a new sponsor that we picked up this past week. I want to say it's Doshi Snacking Dough. It's edible cookie dough in a jar. Various flavors. They have chocolate chip, WTF fudge brownie, basic bitch, and peppermint battle. When you purchase any of their products at Doshi Foods, that's DOICH foods.com, use the discount code MurderShow66 and you'll receive $5 off of your purchase. We also have a variety pack of their stuff coming in this week too as well, but it looks super good. So anyways, enough of all that wonderful jazz and the bullshit. Tonight we are covering the famous John Wayne Gacy that I'm sure a lot of people probably know. And if you don't, that's all right, because tonight we are going to teach you all about him.
And you're going to learn a lot whether you want to or not.
Oh, yeah. His story's crazy. So I'll go ahead and start things off here with the childhood. John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17th, 1942 in Chicago. He was born to a blue-collar family, the only son of Marion Robertson, and his family also included 2 sisters, which I didn't list their names unless it's listed somewhere else, but and John was actually named after the famous movie star John Wayne.
And also
So
his dad was John.
yes,
His dad's
yeah.
name was
So
John.
it's one of those like John the Second, John the Third, whatever. Yeah, which
Junior.
we yeah, Junior, Junior. Um, so growing up, Gacy's father was alcoholic, and he was abusive to John a lot, putting him down, calling him stupid and dumb, and if he said that he didn't like sports or get into things that most guys would like, then his dad would be like, "Well, you're never gonna be a man when you grow up," always putting him down. Um,
So like
John
mentally abusive.
Oh, yeah. Very, very, yeah. John dropped out of high school and briefly moved to Vegas. He worked as a mortuary for several months before returning back home, Chicago. And then, which I did not realize this, he enrolled at Northwestern Business College, and he actually graduated in 1963.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, was not aware of that. So I don't know what kind of business he started, but well, I guess the clown business, but yeah. Um, Jumping ahead a little bit, in 64, Gacy married Marilyn Myers, and the couple moved to Waterloo, Iowa, which I've never been there. Of course, Iowa, I've never been to. Have you
No,
guys been there?
I
I know where Iowa is. I have family who lives up there.
Really?
Hmm.
What part?
Tumwa and uh oh my gosh.
some other part.
I'm sure
Yeah.
David will announce it.
Somewhere near the corn.
Somewhere near the corn. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's not much out there besides, Slipknot and whoever else.
Yeah.
Um, and when they moved there, Gacy actually managed several Kentucky Fried Chickens that his father-in-law owned, which that was something else that I learned. I didn't realize that his, father-in-law owned a bunch of those and Gacy helped manage them, which kind of makes me look at KFC a little bit differently when I get it now, you know.
Uh,
Knowing that-
I wouldn't have been thrilled about having that, have somebody work for
yeah,
ended up turning out like that.
yeah,
That's kind of a black mark on
yeah.
your thing.
What
Well,
what did the, what's it, Colonel think about that, you know?
right. Actually, if you look at a map from where Missouri down to Louisiana is, and then Tennessee over with Kentucky, it looks like a chef holding a piece of chicken, and Kentucky is the piece of chicken.
Yeah, I see that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I learned something new again tonight. Um so after they moved there and he started to manage those Kentucky Fried Chickens, Gacy and his wife later had two kids, a girl and a boy. Gacy was very active in the community, which a lot of people know. He was a well-known and well-liked guy,
Yeah.
um, which later on down, which is why a lot of people couldn't believe that he did what he did. Um, and he was a prominent member of the JCs, which I don't know what that is exactly.
I think it's like a Knights of Columbus or like a Masonic type thing where it's certain people can be members or you can join by a
Oh,
certain way. I
okay.
didn't really look into it. Um, while you talk, I'll look and see what it is actually.
Okay, perfect. Um, However, though, during that time was when he began to kind of uh, show, interest in um, I can't even pronounce the word sadism. Is that it?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Y- which resulted in several encounters with the law. So that's kind of where it started for him. Um, and did you find it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So the JCs is a leadership training and civic organization for young people ages 18 to 40, focused on developing personal and professional skills through community service, business development, management training, and international connections. It
Oh, okay.
it was pretty much to help people learn how to do things like personal growth, community needs, entrepreneurship, economic development, all sorts of things like those. So kind of like the Knights of Columbus mission.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so that's right. I do remember them saying so if somebody needed like their grass cut or their driveway shoveled, then he would gather up the people and get that taken care of. That is right. Okay. Um, so in 1968, Gacy did plead guilty to sexual assaulting a teenage boy, which I didn't really find a whole lot of, info on what exactly happened there, but it's pretty vague. I mean, when you read what the charge is for, and I guess there was actually several other teenage boys that said the same thing that he had tried to done to them or do to them too, but there was no charges filed. So, which kind of makes me wonder, like, why didn't they really charge?
And that
But
was when he was in Vegas or married to his
that
first
was when he
wife?
was married to his first
Okay.
wife, Iowa. Um, so then Gacy was confined to the Iowa State Men's Reformatory. Um, and then after that, Gacy's wife filed for divorce, and the divorce was finalized in 1969. So it sounds like because we always talk about in the childhood, it sounds like he had a very, very bad childhood, mentally abused. I don't think he was raped or nothing like that.
No, but he was physically abused because his dad used to whoop him. And
Yeah.
remember in the documentary we all watched last night, his friend said his dad would punch him, he would pick him up by his shirt and drag him, he would whip him with a
Well,
belt, things
wasn't
like
there
those.
also something that happened to him in a vehicle with a guy?
Yeah, some guy
Yes.
forced him to put his head in his lap and he started having blackouts and like fainting
Right.
spells and
So
stuff.
who knows
Yeah.
exactly whether
So
it
that
was
is true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember Gacy's one good friend that used to come over to the house said that he accidentally spilled a drink, and the dad said, "Oh, that's okay. I just spent $25 on these new pair of khaki pants," and
But it's
then
okay.
but it's okay, and then when Gacy and his friend left the room, he heard his dad telling his mom, "I don't ever want that stupid ass kid here again," and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
And
Yeah.
even his mom was like, "Yeah, John should go with you because
Yeah, she
Mr.
made
Gacy's
sure
about to start
she
screaming."
made sure the kids left. Did she do it?
Yeah.
And she even told the friend, which is like he knew the situation that was going on that whole time.
Yeah. So, 1969 was when the divorce was finalized, and then I believe it's on over to you,
Yeah,
Jackie.
Yeah.
when he was remanded to that institution, he was only there for I think what, 14 months,
18
18 months.
actually, it was exactly 18 months of his 10-year sentence because he was sentenced for 10 years for
10 years, and he
sodomy.
got out in a year and
Wow.
Mhm.
Must be nice. That's like, what was it? BTK that kept getting out,
Yeah.
right? That he kept going in and kept getting out real quick. Yeah. Or no,
No,
I'm
it was
sorry, not
Manson.
Manson.
yeah.
Yeah, Manson.
Yeah. So in 1970, John Wayne was released from the prison after serving just 18 months of his 10-year sentence for the sexual assault of that teenage boy. His parole required him, oh my gosh, required him to move to Chicago and follow a strict curfew. Although he told friends he had planned to rebuild his life in Iowa, he left for Chicago within a day of his release and quickly found work as a short order cook. Over the next year, Gacy was accused twice more of sexually assaulting teenage boys. In one case, the victim didn't appear in court, so the charges were dropped. And in the other, the charges collapsed after the accuser tried to blackmail Gacy. Crucially, none of these incidents were reported to the Iowa Parole Board, so Gacy completed his parole without consequences.
Yeah, he should have gone back.
Hmm He
Yeah.
should have been in jail still.
Yeah.
They should have sent him right back.
Yeah.
One month after his parole ended in October 1971, his Iowa criminal record was sealed, effectively wiping the slate clean just before his crimes would start escalating. So he pretty much got away with it.
Well, yeah, and that doesn't happen. I mean, who gets their?
How old was he when this happened that the case was sealed?
Well, he was born in what?
He was born in 1942.
And it was sealed in 71.
Yeah, so he was 29.
I thought only juvenile cases were able to be
That's what I'm
sealed.
saying. Yeah, it wasn't like a juvenile thing. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there with a felony on their record
Yeah.
and just to have somebody just wipe the slate clean for you. I mean, that's a little more than generous.
Yeah.
Hear you.
You can't hear me.
There it is.
Sorry, I was like, wait, I can't
It's
hear
all
it.
it's okay. So people always tell me all the time, we can't hear Chris, we can't hear Chris. It all just depends. He's comfortable speaking where he's speaking at, so it's going to be that way sometimes, and it is what it is.
I gotta like put this mic in my mouth.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I work with the equipment that I have because if I want to get top-notch professional studio stuff here,
We need more
that's big
sponsors.
bucks, and I'm a factory worker, so
Yeah. Now again, part of his parole was that he had to move back to Chicago. In late 1970 or 71, John Wayne purchased a modest ranch home at 8213 West Somerdale Avenue. His mother helped him buy this house and funded it
oh wow.
because he worked as a short order cook, but she had more money than he did.
It never did say what she did
I don't
for
remember what she
for
did.
a profession. Even when I was looking and doing my stuff today, I never said what she did. So
That house would become the center of his public life, his private life, and as he later admitted, the site of all of his murders. To neighbors, Gacy seemed like a model community man. He loaned out tools, plowed snow for free, and threw huge themed summer parties that drew hundreds of guests, including local politicians and business leaders. On the surface, he was friendly, generous, and deeply involved in the neighborhood. At this time, he did get remarried to a lady named Carol. She had 2 daughters, and they all moved in and lived together in that house on Somerdale. Inside the house, his personal life was unraveling. Shortly after his mother moved in, Gacy rekindled a relationship. Sorry, shortly after he moved into the house with his mother, Gacy rekindled a relationship with Carol Hoff, a woman he'd briefly dated in high school. She had the 2 daughters, and they were married in 1972. By time 1975 rolled around, Gacy told her he was bisexual and announced that he would no longer be intimate with her. He spent most nights away from home, returning in the early morning hours with vague explanations about work. Carol began noticing troubling signs, teenage boys entering the garage late at night, gay pornography hidden around the house, and wallets belonging to young men that she didn't know. When she confronted him, Gacy shut her down angrily. Their marriage deteriorated quickly, and after a heated argument in late 75, Carol asked for a divorce. She moved out in early 76, and the divorce was finalized soon after.
could you imagine being told that by somebody that you're with that you're bisexual and there's no longer going to be any.
There's no relationship
Yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah. I mean, that would be like a getting hit from left field type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, at that point, I mean, it's not really. I don't know that you're really you're cutting off all,
Yeah.
connection to your female wife. I mean,
Yeah, that's not really bi.
he just wasn't really interested
Yeah, and that's why don't you just put it that way type thing, instead of, what he did, but sorry, go
that's
ahead.
just like telling her that he's just not interested in her anymore. I mean, that's
Yeah,
basically it.
that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. He's trying to take a easy way out or a softer way out.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing soft about it.
No,
Hey,
not
by
for
the
her.
way, I like wiener too.
And not the schnitzel kind.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
I
touch you anymore.
I'm not gonna touch you anymore. I'm not even gonna think about touching you.
Ew, you got cooties.
Sorry, it just felt right.
In early 1971, John Wayne Gacy launched PDM Contractors. It started with minor repair jobs while still working as a cook. It looked like a thriving small business that he had, and it ended up being huge. By 1973, he had quit cooking altogether to focus on construction full time. The company grew quickly by the mid 70s. Gacy was working long days, juggling multiple projects, and even supervising remodeling jobs for a larger firm. By 1978, PDM was bringing over $200,000 a year, which is a lot for that time period.
Yeah, I would imagine at least. Yeah.
But behind the success was a pattern of predatory behavior. Gary filled his workforce with teenage boys and young men.
Hey, Gary.
It cut off my C.
Gary.
That's the nickname. Yeah.
It cut the bottom of my C to an R.
Oh my God.
Talk about old Gary.
Old Gary.
I'm sorry, guys. I
Holy
failed.
shit, that was
I'm
great.
fired.
Oh, Gary. You're getting them kids to fix stuff, Gary. Oh shit. We needed that. That was great.
You're welcome. Gacy filled his workforce with teenage boys and young men, many of whom he propositioned or pressed for sexual favors in exchange for money, jobs, or access to his vehicles. He also used intimidation, once warning an employee how easy it would be to kill him and hide the body. Now, during this time with the employees, he got his fucking ass kicked
Did he really?
so many times
By the staff?
by the staff because he would take them home. He would essentially try and rape most of them and fail miserably, and they would kick his ass.
Wow.
He once was beaten in front of his own front yard, and his wife came out and asked him what was going on, and he said it was because he wouldn't pay him. So he came and kicked his ass.
Oh my God.
One guy bashed his head into a wall. One, when he had handcuffs on him on the front this way, he managed to get one loose and put Gacy in the handcuffs like this and kick the shit out of
Could you
him.
imagine?
If you
Backfires.
the pictures of the way he shapes, you're not moving your arms when you're stuck like this.
Yeah, that's Gacy's stage name,
Gary.
Gary. Gary, what a
It was
name.
actually Pogo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary.
Gary Pogo the clown.
Hmm.
Several incidents revealed just how dangerous he had become. In 1973, he raped a teenage employee during a trip to Florida. In 75, he attacked a 15-year-old named Anthony Anatucci, handcuffing him only for Anatucci to fight back at Gacy instead.
Wow.
The following year, Gacy targeted 18-year-old David Cram, tricking him into handcuffs while dressed as his clown persona, Pogo. Now, Gacy also was a performing clown for parties and community events called Pogo the Clown.
Yep.
I hate clowns.
That's one of the reasons why
Most
you
people
didn't
do.
that you didn't want us to cover it. Yeah, most people do hate clowns. I've not really met anybody that likes clowns, you know.
Yeah, especially like people out there. Like, all right, clown.
Yeah, yeah.
There are some people
I
that love them, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I had a friend in school, Nick, that hated clowns, and we used to go to the, haunted houses, and we'd go up to the clown and tell him he hates clowns. Go up behind him and scare the shit out of him. And
Oh, yeah.
they used to. I mean, yeah.
Cram escaped, but Gacy attempted to assault him again weeks later. Cram soon moved out, and though he continued working for PDM for 9 more weeks, he continued to working for the guy who tried to rape him.
Wow. That
Yeah.
now the PDM, that was, maybe you already said it. That stood for painting,
Design
design,
and
and
maintenance.
maintenance. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was PDM company or
It's not
something like that.
it's not really a clever name for a
No.
business. I mean, I don't know. I always look at that
Yeah,
stuff.
it was paint,
but
design, and
Yeah.
maintenance.
Let's take the three things that we do the most and just use the first letter of each
Use the
one and
first
slap it on the van.
slap it on the van, yeah.
Yeah, right.
IDAM.
Yeah, crafty. There.
No. Another one of his employees ended up moving in with him and stayed there for multiple years. That would be Michael Rossi. He moved into Gary's home after he was assaulted by him, and then joined him in a clown performance with Gacy as Pogo and Rossi as Patches, while Gacy's violent behavior continued to escalate behind closed doors.
Mm.
So those two clown suits we saw Gacy's and we saw Rossi's.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
Pogo and Patches the clown.
I was wondering why when you guys sent me the picture, there's two of them.
I never knew that there was
Okay.
another clown there. I thought just Gacy had a alter ego Pogo costume.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
Pogo and Gary.
Pogo and Gary. Here we go, Gary again. We got to get a Gary sign put up in the studio now.
No, please don't.
Crafty by Laura there. Make us a Gary thing.
No. No. No, no,
Crochet it faster than Bill Cosby. All right, let's go. Oh man, this Duncan's hitting me good tonight.
It's good.
You're caffeinated. I can tell.
Gacy entered politics. He became a member of the Democratic Party. He was actually able to meet First Lady Rosalind Carter on May 6, 1978, which was 6 years after his first murder and 7 months before his arrest.
Oh wow,
Yeah, he was that well known that he got to meet her.
jeez, he grew pretty big pretty fast. I feel like
hmm
in whatever that he did.
He did.
His business, being out in the community. You know,
Well,
excuse me, politics.
with the Democratic Party that he joined, he offered his employees as to help clean party headquarters at no charge. He was rewarded with an invitation to serve on the Norwood Park Township Street Lighting Committee, subsequently subsequently earning the title of precinct captain. In 1975, Gacy was appointed director of Chicago's annual Polish Constitution Day parade. That's a lot to say in one sentence. Though his work with the parade, which he would supervise until 1978, Gacy met and was photographed with First Lady Rosalind Carter wearing an S pin, indicating a person given special clearance. The event later became an embarrassment to the United States Secret Service.
So, are they big for Polish out there? Is that why they had like a parade and all that kind of stuff?
I know they have a giant parade when it comes to St. Patrick's Day. That's the
Okay.
only one I know about.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure what the Polish Constitution Day parade is like, but I'm assuming if it's as big as their St. Patty's Days ones are, and a
Oh,
first lady, like a president's wife, is going to be there, it's got to be huge.
yeah, yeah. Now you been to Chicago before, Chris.
Yeah, I have.
Were you far from where his home or where he
No,
was?
I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Norwood is near
It's a metropolitan of Chicago, so it's close by.
a metropolitan area. So, but yeah, Norwood was near O'Hare Airport.
Oh, okay.
So there's the northwest part of Chicago. So it's kind of like just a suburb of.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't necessarily because I was downtown Chicago.
Oh,
I
okay.
went there, and but Chicago very similar to many other cities. Even Cleveland or wherever, New York, they all had their little areas. They had their Italian neighborhoods and
Oh, yeah.
their Irish neighborhoods and their
Yeah.
Polish neighborhoods. So because I lived in a suburb of Cleveland, and that was a very Polish neighborhood.
I always wanted to go out there, Chicago. I was going to drive out there when I was younger and I worked, you know, um, retail for a while. I had like a weekend off and I was just going to drive out there, Chicago,
Yeah,
because it was somewhere I wanted to check out.
just hang out.
I didn't though. I looked up how far of a drive and I'm like, oh, that's not bad. I'm like, I'll do that, but then I'm like,
6 hours.
but then I was just winging it and it's like, well, what am I going to do when I get out there? It's just me. Then I got to find somewhere to stay because I'm not planning this ahead. I was young. I was only like 20 years old,
Yeah, you could have slept in your car.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, at 20, who cares? And back then it wasn't too much of a big deal.
Well, now it's a little different, though. I think there's a lot of those neighborhoods first that just faded a little bit. Now
Yeah,
there's
I'm
much
sure.
more of a mix.
Yeah.
So, but
Sorry, classroom Jackie.
interesting.
No,
area,
it's fine. We need a little bit more of this because we're talking too fast.
Wow. We all like doing that. It's okay though.
I know I get excited and I just speed through everything I'm
I
supposed to
get
talk
excited
about.
and I just run around the house. When I get excited, I do. I'll just randomly run around. I'm like, "What do I do? What do I do?" Ah. Um,
Zoomies,
yeah, zoomies. Yeah, like
zoomies.
cats get. That's like me, you know. I'm a cat. I don't lick my hair though. But anyways, and I don't like catnip, so we're all good there. Um, but so go ahead.
Now we're gonna jump ahead because obviously we know that he killed 33 people.
Yeah.
We are not covering 33 individual murders.
No. And at one point he was the highest ranked with killings. I
At
know
that
it's
time,
changed,
yeah,
but
at that time he was the highest
Yeah, when
ranking.
he was indicted, yeah, he certainly was. He had the record there.
that's
Hmm.
it's crazy.
Yeah. So I picked out a few of the ones that I felt was the most important that we'll cover.
Okay.
In the early oh, hold up.
In the early oh,
In the early
There
Gary
we go.
awoken.
Actually, in the early morning hours of January 3rd, 1972, John Wayne Gacy committed what is believed to have been his first murder. After attending a family gathering the night before, Gacy drove into downtown Chicago, where he encountered 16-year-old Timothy Jack McCoy at a Greyhound bus terminal. McCoy was traveling to Omaha and had hours to wait before his next bus. His next bus was arriving at noon exactly.
Okay.
Gacy offered him a place to rest and a ride back in the morning, even after taking him on a brief sightseeing tour before bringing him to his house. According to Gacy, he awoke the next morning to find McCoy standing in his bedroom doorway, holding a kitchen knife. Gacy claimed he panicked, attacked the teenager, and ultimately stabbed him to death, only to find out that the teen had woken up and made breakfast.
Yes, I do remember that.
So
Yeah, he
he
totally
said,
read it
yeah,
wrong.
he
Yeah.
said he saw him standing at the door like this, with the knife down, panicked, jumped out of bed. The boy put the knife down. He jumped on him, pinned him, and then stabbed him.
Yeah. Here he thought he was coming to attack him and
He admitted to washing the knife in his bathroom. So he kills him. I'm gonna go wash the knife off the blood in my bathroom, and then I'm gonna go walk in the kitchen.
washing the knife off the blood.
I
It's a lot of knife.
love
It's a lot of knife on that blood.
I love how he can catch his stuff. I absolutely love it.
I'm gonna go see myself out now. Thank you.
Oh no. Oh no, the show's going.
All right, we know what.
Oh, one of the so one of the fans, David, had told me because we were asking about the Polish Day Parade. It's one of the largest in the world. It's held annually to commemorate Poland's May 3rd Constitution.
Oh,
So that's why they do it. So thank
Thank
you,
you.
David, for that
there you go.
info.
Pierogies rock.
Yeah.
They do.
Well, you got to get that knife off the blood. So
The evil stare.
go ahead.
Radio silence.
Carry on. No radio silence.
Mm-mm.
We don't do that.
Gacy buried McCoy in the crawl space beneath his house. Years later, he described the killing as a moment of disturbing self realization, as he had what he said, amazing orgasm.
Oh,
Yeah.
while killing him?
Uh huh.
So yeah, that's kind of he was kind of hooked at that point,
He said
you
he
know.
felt an over. He didn't feel the sparky big time.
For those of you that listened when we covered BTK, that's what Chris is referring to. Sparky big time is what BTK would refer to his penis as, or when he was finishing.
Yeah,
That's what it was, a sparky big time.
Mhm.
So
He described the killing as a moment of disturbing self realization, saying he felt an overwhelming rush during the act and understood for the first time that taking a life gave him a sense of power and thrill. In July of 1975, 18-year-old John I am gonna butcher this name, so I'm gonna call him John B.
There you
There
go.
you go.
John
That's what
B.
we do.
John B., an employee of John Wayne's contracting company, PDM, vanished without a trace. The day before he disappeared, John and two friends confronted Gacy over 2 weeks of unpaid wages. Gacy claimed they worked out a compromise and that the young men had left peacefully. But the next day, John's car was found abandoned. His wallet, jacket, and keys were still inside, suggesting he hadn't planned to go anywhere. When John's father called Gacy insisted he didn't know anything and suggested that John had simply run away. Police questioned him, but with no evidence, the case stalled. For the next 3 years, John's parents called the investigators over 100 times.
Well, his dad was a cop,
Yeah, but they called
and
the investigators over 100 times, begging them to investigate Gacy.
yeah, his dad was not gonna give up, and they said that if he would've or not have been so, strong about looking for him that, John might have gotten away for a while.
Well, he got away with it for 3 years.
Well, yeah, but he coulda gotten away.
If they had actually listened and did a little more digging and like followed him at this point, none of the other murders would have happened. There would have been 3 and that's it.
Yeah.
Only after Gacy's arrest did the truth emerge. Gacy admitted he had lured John back into his house under the pretense of settling the wage dispute. He tricked him into being handcuffed and then strangled him. He hid the body in his garage and later buried it beneath a concrete floor. In December of 1976, 17-year-old Gregory Godzik disappeared. Excuse me. His girlfriend Les saw him outside her house. Godzik also worked for PDM, but he had only worked for them for less than 3 weeks when he disappeared. He had informed his family that Gacy had had him dig trenches for some kind of drain tiles in his crawl space. Godzik's car was later found abandoned. His parents and older sister contacted Gacy about his disappearance. Gacy claimed that he had expressed a wish to run away from home. He also claimed to have received an answering machine message from Gregory shortly after he had disappeared. When asked if he could play the message for the parents, Gacy said he erased it.
Of course. How ironic.
The so when I was looking through the victims to pick some out, I noticed that 2 of them were his own employees that he actually killed.
See, I thought there was more of them that were, but I guess not.
There was 2 that were killed. He did try and rape or attack multiple of his employees.
Okay.
So if you want to count those, like 7 or 8 of his employees were part of his victims, but
Gotcha.
only 2 were killed.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I thought it was a lot more for some reason. I thought it was the majority of those 33, but then if you think about it, it's like, well, he didn't have that many damn
Right.
employees, you know?
And a majority of these 33 victims were either gay, runaways, or transient. So they were just traveling around and things like that. So people that wouldn't be noticed.
And that's what a lot of these different serial killers that we've covered, season 1, a lot of them where they pick up people that are running away.
Aren't you more likely to be killed by a stranger than somebody you know?
No, you're 10 times, 100 times more likely to be killed by somebody close.
Oh.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
I mean,
Well,
the vast majority of murders are like crimes of passion and things like that. They're domestic abuse related things,
yeah.
or husbands killing their ex-wives, that kind of shit. It's not a lot of people go out and just kill people they don't know.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's what makes these serial killers of these guys like, I don't know. Some people it's a little bit disgusting. Other people it makes them interesting because the reasons why they do it is what everybody struggles to understand.
Yeah.
And when people struggle to understand why people do something that they do, it either usually it makes them interesting, right?
Gotcha.
So I guess that's the true crime thing, why everybody's so interested. Because I mean, for me, it was always the same thing. You had mentioned it before. It's struggling to understand why these guys did what they did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
You know,
Because we'll, never fully know. especially the ones that have already died.
No,
Right.
It's
I mean, yeah, you can gather evidence and things like that. You can talk about, you know,
that's what makes what we do and all the different podcasters and researchers neat is that everybody forms their own opinion and
well,
it's
and that's
different,
it, right?
you
Yeah,
know?
you're not going to have just the same stuff unless everybody's reading off of one page,
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But
Or yeah.
that's not really our format here. We're a little bit more open and opinionated. So
Here
here we go.
Yeah.
we are.
Pleasure.
Thank you. On December 11th, 1978, John Wayne Gacy walked into the Nissen Pharmacy in uh, Des Des Plaines,
Just
Oh,
planes, just
yeah.
Des Plaines, to discuss a remodeling job. While he was there, he casually mentioned within earshot of 15-year-old employee Robert Peace that his company paid teenage boys far better than the pharmacy did. That single comment caught Robert's attention. That would also be the beginning of his end.
Oh, okay.
A short time later, Robert's mother arrived to pick him up so that the family could celebrate her birthday. Robert told her to wait just a few minutes. He wanted to speak with a contractor about a possible job. He left the store around 9 p.m. and never returned. According to Gacy's later statements, he brought Robert back to his home, offered him a drink, and steered the conversation toward money and hustling. He then tricked the teenager into putting on handcuffs. What happened next shifted in Gacy's retelling, but the outcome never changed. Robert Peace was murdered shortly after 10 p.m. Gacy admitted that the boy was terrified as he tightened a rope around his neck and that he even took a business call while Robert was dying in the next room.
Oh,
Jeez.
Yeah. Now, one of the ways that Gacy committed a lot of these crimes was he would bring the victims back to his house, give them alcohol and drugs and things like those, and then watch stag movies with them,
What's stag movie? Sorry, I don't.
gay movies.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, um, he would also mention that he was the clown. We were talking about this earlier, and asked his victims if they wanted to see a magic trick, which often involved handcuffs.
Mm, yep.
He also said that one of his last tricks that he would tell his victims was called his rope trick. And it's where he would take a piece of rope and a hammer, like the handle of a hammer, and tighten it on the victim's
Oh,
necks.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
So he said he did multiple tricks
Because
on the
when
victims.
he was in Boy Scouts, he had learned, tourniquet,
Hmm.
right.
put the rope on there and take a stick and tighten it up to help cut off the blood if somebody was bleeding out or on their arm. Yeah.
Right, right. When 15-year-old Robert Peace didn't return home on December 11th, 1978, his family immediately reported him missing. The last person he was known to speak with was contractor John Wayne Gacy. Lieutenant Joseph, I'm just going to call him K, who had a personal connection to Peace High School, began digging into Gacy's background, and what was found was alarming. A prior prison sentence for sexually assaulting a teenage boy and an outstanding battery charge. Police visited Gacy the next day. He denied offering Peace a job and claimed he'd only returned to the pharmacy to retrieve a forgotten appointment book. He promised to come to the station later but stalled, even inventing a good story about a dead uncle. When he finally showed up at 3:20 a.m., he was covered in mud and claimed he'd been in a car accident. His explanations kept changing.
Couldn't keep his story
Mhm.
right.
Uh, Solutions and explanations for things. I think that carried all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that around the time where neighbors complained about a smell and had a plumber come out?
I believe so. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
he did, but I don't know the time.
Yeah. And that was
Right.
crazy because we had talked about that before how plumber came out because the neighbors kept bitching and bitching. There's a smell, god awful smell. Where's it coming from? And of course, Gacy knew what it was. And then he has a plumber. I'll have plumber come on out and take
look
a
at the
look down in the
septic.
crawl space and take a look at the septic. And I remember them saying that the guy was down there trying to find stuff, and there was just, maggots everywhere. And it's just like, but the guy didn't see it, what was going on, because the way
Mm-mm.
he had him buried. Because an investigator said that when they went down to the crawl space to originally search his home during when, Robert went missing, that he said, we were looking for something that may have been freshly buried bodies, like a mound. And he goes, there was no mounds down there.
No.
So he said, it just looked like a crawl space. And we left.
So actually, where Timothy's body was buried was where he stored his like tools and stuff before he poured the concrete pad for his garage. So he's in the little middle area right there. And he was buried so deep that concrete was poured on top of him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was
So
his first victim.
oh yeah, of course they're not going to find him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
On December 13th, police secured a search warrant for Gacy's home. Inside, they found a disturbing collection of items: police badges, handcuffs, a syringe, pornography, drugs, a class ring with initials JAS, a blue parka, multiple driver's license, and a length of nylon rope. They also found a photo receipt from the pharmacy where Peace worked. So when he denied being there, he had a receipt from that day for pictures that he had dropped off.
Yeah, I remember that back in the
Yeah, kind
back
of tied him back to these.
back in
Mhm.
the day too, which any young viewers that we have, you guys don't know about this, but when we would take our photos and drop them off and wait for them to actually develop them,
And then hoping they turned out.
and hopefully they turn out.
Hoping
Yeah,
they
what
turned
was
out.
it? 1 hour photos, but most of the time they took more than
Yeah,
that.
like 24 hours.
Yeah, kids these days don't get that now, which now I feel like I'm an old fart when I say shit like
I
that.
loved film.
Do they still sell disposable cameras?
They
Yes.
do.
Do they?
They
Yep.
do.
And they still have photo labs,
Oh,
Walgreens,
yeah.
In town, they have a photo lab there, and you can get disposables. They have them hanging out front, and then you can use their photo print machine or have them print. And I'm like, damn, who's still doing that? Or
I
remember
really want to get one now.
Polaroids when they would print it out and
Oh,
you
yeah.
shake it and
I
blow
have
on it?
one. I have
Do
a
you really?
Polaroid camera. I
Wow.
love my Polaroid.
Yeah.
But I want to get a disposable camera again and start like,
Oh my God. And then you got to wind it up after every picture. It's
yes.
like,
They're so fun though.
anyway, sorry about that. We're old farts. Except Chris, he's young.
That class ring with the initials JAS ended up belonging to one of his victims. The victim, his name was Jonathan. I cannot remember his last name, but I remember it starts with an S.
Well, probably the.
He is on a roll tonight. I'm telling you, folks, this is the next Ralphie May, minus being real fat. This is the next Ralphie May right here. This is it.
But
I love it. This is Chris
This-
Christ. I love it.
that wasn't the only thing of his victims that was found at his house of that one. This guy, John's car was actually found there. Rossi, the guy that he raped and then moved in with him,
Yeah.
was still living there at the time during all of this. Gacy sold Rossi, ROSSI, I don't know how you say
Yeah.
it, so I'm saying Rossi,
Yeah.
the car for $300. And because they matched the VIN to the victim's name, they were like, oh, okay, whatever, we believe you. And told the victim's mother that, yeah, he sold his car, but we can't find your kid.
He got a hell of a deal on that. $300 for that
300
thing.
bucks.
Yeah.
Was a dead guy's car, but
It was a Plymouth Satellite.
I don't know if I even know. I'm gonna have to look that up now.
Yeah.
Plymouth Satellite, huh?
From that point on, Gacy was placed under 24-hour surveillance. As investigators dug deeper, more troubling information surfaced. Other young men connected to Gacy had gone missing, and one former employee had accused him of kidnapping and torture. Interviews with former employees revealed stolen property, suspicious gifts, and chilling comments, like Gacy giving someone a watch he claimed came from a dead person. Search, yeah. Search dogs later alerted to the presence of a body in Gacy's car, and Gacy himself began to unravel under the pressure. He drank heavily, taunted officers, and even joked over breakfast that clowns can get away with murder. By December 18th, he was exhausted, paranoid, and attempting to sue the police for harassment. That same day, investigators traced the photo receipt found in his home to a coworker of Peace, confirming that Robert had been wearing the coat it came from the night he vanished. This was the moment the investigation shifted from suspicion to certainty. The walls were closing in, and Gacy knew it.
Yeah, Gary knew it for sure.
And now,
Now we're
let's
gonna,
see how it
yeah, we're
happens.
turning on over to criminology, Chris.
So yeah, the piece was like the beginning of the end. After he kind of got tied to that whole situation, and they were watching him around the clock. Um, he got busted for. Well, he ended up getting busted for walking in, and I don't know if he was selling or whether he was just handing a bag of weed to the store clerk, whatever in that store.
I can tell you. Give me a second.
But either way, after that happened, it actually subjected Gacy to like an additional search on his home. And when that took place, they ended up actually. This is when they actually went to his home and they actually discovered remains.
Oh,
First set of human remains.
gotcha.
So after that, I mean,
So if it weren't for that bag of weed, they may never went back.
well, and that's
Maybe.
true. I think they were looking for a reason.
Yeah.
He was handing a bag of marijuana to a gas station attendant.
There you go.
So he was selling.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
so the following day, I guess the suspect, in a rambling statement to police, Mr. Gacy, he basically confessed to killing more than 30 young men and boys.
Oh yeah, that was because they were executing a search warrant, wanted to
Right.
execute the search warrant at his house, that they did this to arrest him to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like I said, and rambled and went down the road and told him a story, and then he ended up retracting his confession
Yeah.
after a little while. But either way, I mean, confession or not, I mean, it got pretty obvious when they ended up finding the remains of 29 bodies in his on his property. So
Oh, okay.
at that point, I mean, no one's framing you.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a clear cut thing. They also ended up actually finding an additional. I think they found 29 on his property. I believe they ended up finding 4 that he had dumped in a river in Chicago or south of Chicago.
So he didn't have them all buried at his house then.
They weren't all buried at his house.
Probably because he ran out of room, I would imagine, in that crawl space eventually.
He would have had to. 33 bodies under there. Did he double stack them?
Well, I mean, you mentioned earlier when we were talking earlier today that he had somebody or one of his employees digging trenches for drain tiles.
Yeah.
Oh.
So drain tiles just like drainage pipe. So
yeah.
He's probably got one of his guys. Hey, I need you to dig a giant. I need you to expand my basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's true.
I guess he maybe slowly moved the dirt back down there on top of him after he, I don't know.
Yeah.
Started filling it in. But anyway, getting around to, and actually, I forgot to touch on this. Like, during that time, while he was being followed, he actually admitted to his lawyer that he had tortured, raped, and killed 30 young men. Apparently, he was relatively inebriated, and he actually spilled it to his lawyer.
Oh wow.
Now, what I think the reason why it would be terrible to be a lawyer is that confidentiality thing. It's similar to being a doctor. Like when your lawyer tells you something in confidence, his lawyer can't just go to the cops and say, "Hey, Gacy killed a bunch of guys and he admitted to it."
Yeah.
You could be disbarred for that, right? So a lot of times, even I had a professor in college that he was a lawyer and he had a hard time handling it because he had clients that would tell him where bodies were buried and things like that, and that they had done it, and he could not disclose that information to family and or
really
or anything because he could be disbarred for it.
Really, I didn't know that.
Right. So
wow.
He'd get in trouble for that. So, but anyway, he ended up getting busted anyway. But
Lackadaisy made a good point. Sorry, that it's true. Could you imagine, officers going for a drug bust and finding 33
Could
bodies?
you just imagine the smell?
No.
I just wanna know how, like, you walk up to that house and you're like, "What the fuck is
Well,
this smell?"
when I did EMS and stuff years ago, I've smelled somebody that has passed, and
Mhm.
it's awful smell when it's been a while. So I can only imagine 33 because one of them was just brutal. We used
Yeah,
to
you
put,
could have it from a distance. Yeah,
yeah, we used to put Vicks underneath our nose when we went to a real bad call,
yeah,
and it helps, but it doesn't eliminate at all.
yeah. No ozone machine or anything's gonna solve that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
So, but that is a good point, though. Lackadaisy, definitely. You're going in for a drug bust, what you think, and then you're finding 33 bodies instead.
right?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, no.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, early in '79, shortly thereafter, he was charged with 7 murders. He was indicted for an additional 26 by a grand jury, I believe, in April. Um, the total, once again, as we had discussed, is the at that point in time was the largest number
Wow.
of murders to
And
be
that
indicted for.
was in what year?
That was in
78.
'78,
78, and that was the largest at that time. Wow.
right? So, and that's when Mr. Gacy's trial began. So this trial actually was relatively interesting. It wasn't a real defense against the charges. They they were pretty clear on the fact that he had killed a bunch of people. I mean, he had like 3 separate confessions that he had made. So it wasn't a question as to whether or not John Wayne Gacy was guilty of murder at that point. They were more or less, the defense in this case was doing their best to try and get him off with a insanity plea, to try to get him sent to a mental
Oh,
hospital.
yeah, like most of them try,
Right, in
yeah.
lieu of doing it. So their intention, you know, as a defense, they, in lieu of trying to bring in people, bring in character witnesses or anything like that in defense of John to make him seem like he was a better person or not capable of this, they actually went the complete opposite route, and it was similar, in fact, to like the prosecution typically that you'd see in a case where he was bringing in people to make him look as absolutely disgusting as possible. Like,
Really?
seriously, to make everybody believe that, holy shit, like this guy was so like nuts,
Yeah.
and all the shit he did to these people, that he has to be crazy, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you say during the trial that the people who knew him, the neighbors and community and stuff, said there's absolutely no way and that he was framed?
Right, and yeah, the community at the time, obviously, he was a precinct captain. He was involved in a lot of stuff in the community. A lot of people were like, "No, no, that's not. There's no way. It had to be framed or something like." Well, I think after they figured out that he was indicted for 33 murders, I think that kind of went out the window, because how do you frame a guy? If you're going to frame a guy, you put a body in their basement. You don't put 30 of them.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
that's a
did
little.
say, I remember when I was reading that he only had space for 29 of those bodies in his crawl space, and the other 4 were in rivers.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. So
Right.
29 bodies he has stacked in there.
Right. And that's no one's framed you. So the prosecution was basically trying to argue that Gacy was entirely sane, and they were more or less concerned, I believe, on proving the calculation of the actual murders and the premeditation, and his desire, and why he did what he did, aside from not mentally being stable. So 13 days of testimony from the prosecution. They questioned 60 witnesses. Everything
Wow.
from, like Jackie had mentioned, former employees of Gacy that testified uh, in regards to his sexual advances and attempts to persuade them to get handcuffed and to get involved in things
Yeah.
they didn't want to
Hustling.
do. And right, exactly. Um, so after that, the prosecution had them. They had friends. They had relatives. A bunch of emotional testimony. Um, Obviously, they went into detail about it. I'm not going to go into it really.
Yeah.
The circumstances of the bodies that were covered. So they had forensic guys in there and that kind of thing too. Um, they talked about the tourniquet situation and all that, and the methods of how he took these guys' lives. The prosecution also had psychologists in there who testified that Gacy was sane during the time of the killing. So, like I said, they were doing their best to try because they knew what the defense was doing. They were going for that insanity plea. That way,
Yeah.
he could get tossed in a nut house and he'd be out in a year or two or something like that. But
Right.
he obviously wanted to prevent that from happening. Prosecution rested its case on February 20th, and then the following day, the defense actually began with their witnesses. One of which was, did you mention Jeff Rignall?
No.
Okay, so Jeff Rignall, it was one of the survivors of his attacks. So he was strangled, raped,
Oh, wait, I remember this
tortured.
guy.
Yeah, there was he went through the whole process, and Gacy ended up
He
dumping his
was
body. He chloroformed him.
Yeah, he was also the one that Gacy drowned several times and brought back and asked, "Are we having fun playing games yet?"
Yeah, that's
during
disgusting.
this. Yeah.
Anyways, he got up on the stand and actually recounted the entire situation. He ended up actually on the stand in the courtroom, became hysterical and actually began to vomit and had to be removed from the courtroom
Wow.
because of during his testimony. So, but I could only imagine what going into a room with the guy that did that to you and trying to, just recount all this information
Yeah.
in front of
Traumatizing.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
in front of a courtroom full of people, including the guy that was responsible for it.
Well,
Yeah.
now in modern trials, they do where the if the person testifying cannot confront the
So
accused,
you put him on video or
they do them
something.
on video, so
Yeah.
that way they don't have reactions like that.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
if
they
they
can do that
do,
now.
they can pre-record the testimony.
Yeah, they usually do it like via Zoom. Yeah.
Mhm.
They especially do that with juveniles.
They could they even do that with some of the prisoners that are in the jail instead of bringing them into the
Yeah.
courthouse, they'll zoom them in right from the
Especially if it's
prison.
violent. Like, if it's a
Yeah.
violent one, they
What a better
will.
way to go.
Right.
Anyway, I guess there are 22 witnesses appeared for the defense. 6 of them were psychologists. They actually testified as medical experts that old Gare had to be mentally impaired,
Care Bear.
and they said he had conditions bordering on schizophrenia and multiple personality disorder. I don't know how they were able to make that determination.
I
I
don't
mean,
think he had multiple
No.
personalities.
no, and I don't either.
What was one of them the clown? I mean, come on. Oh God, what the hell was that?
I don't know. Look at him.
Cloud.
Like a weird yodel.
Cloud.
Oh, I had water go up my nose, you dick. Oh
What
my
mine does,
God.
just trying to make the host choke
Oh,
on
you
water.
dick.
Get up on my lederhosen.
Oh my God.
What's the giant horn they use
Oh,
on the
yeah.
mountain?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Rico.
horn. Yeah. Oh. So,
Oh.
so the psychologist they further testified that that Gacy was unable to understand the nature of his acts, and therefore he should have been he should be held to have been insane when he committed the murders. In which case, obviously, they would end up in the nut house. Um, so as the trial went on, Gacy started acting more and more like removed mentally or checked out mentally during the trial. At one point, I guess he actually, or multiple occasions, I guess he mentioned that he didn't understand what was happening or why he was there. Although on March 7th, the judge in the case actually ruled that Gacy was still fit to stand trial. So the judge wasn't buying what he was selling. You know,
Yeah.
he wasn't
Yeah,
digesting
he's not.
the bullshit. It's like, well, yeah, that's cute, but no, you're fine. Um, uh, the defense completed its case the following day, and closing arguments were heard on March 11th. The prosecution ended with gruesome detail accounting each of the murders which he was charged for, emphasizing that they were all carefully planned. Um, the defense attempted to convince the jury once again that due to his sanity, that it was inappropriate to find him guilty of a murder. Um, After that, the case went to the jury. And it was 7 men and 5 women. It took about 2 hours, less than 2 hours.
You pretty much know you're fucked at that point.
Yeah, and they returned with a guilty verdict. Following day, they were asked to deliberate regarding their sentence, and they came back in under 2.25 hours, sentencing him to death.
So in total, 4 hours to find him guilty and needing to die.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they were pretty sure. I think once you get past the idea that he wasn't insane when he did this, it was pretty easy decision to make.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
regarding his
All the facts were there.
regarding his future. Anyway, he ended up actually going through years and years of appeals. I think he was in prison for, I think, what, 14 years? Yeah, 14 years before he was actually put to death.
Which was in 94, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in 1994.
So he sat in there for a little while, I guess.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
maybe.
during that time, a few things happened. 1981, a year later, they buried the other unidentified victims. There were 6 victims at that point in time, I believe, that were not identified. I think 3 of those, was it, Jackie? I
Yeah.
think 3 of those
Are
ended up
still unidentified.
that are still unidentified, but they did identify one recently after that, which was Gacy's first victim, that Timothy McCoy.
Yeah.
And then actually in 2017, through or DNA analysis, they actually identified a couple more.
Oh, really?
So, which was interesting.
So to find Timothy, they would have had to bust up that concrete then.
Well, I think they found his body. I think they just were not able to identify him at the time.
Oh.
In which
No, he was
started.
under concrete, so they would have had to bust that concrete up.
Oh, I believe they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think now his house is tore down.
Oh yeah,
I think, yeah.
I mean, after that, once that happens, that house gets removed immediately.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
like
they
the
weren't
Castro
just
house.
Does
they
it
were
really?
They were just digging down in the basement. I guarantee they removed that whole stinking house and dug up that entire piece of property.
Plus, you wouldn't want to
Oh,
live in
okay.
that house after
Well,
that.
you'd be surprised. Some people
But the
like
amount of
to buy stuff like that because of the story behind it,
But
you know.
Right.
back
Well,
then,
look
I
at
don't really think
look
at
at
70s.
but why did they, if you think about it, why did they never tear down, Dahmer's parents' old house? That's still there. There's people living in it now, It's only
Right.
30 minutes from us, but I mean, there was only, I think, one victim originally, his first one in the backyard there, but
Mhm.
still.
Yeah. So after all that, like I said, it took years and years of appeals that he went through. I believe he was trying to say that his punishment was cruel and unusual.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, come on.
Right.
So an execution date was set in 1993, I think, after his last appeal was thrown out.
Mhm.
Funny enough, in 1994, actually, it says that he drew the ire of officials by unveiling a $1.99 per minute telephone line, which featured a recorded interview of him answering questions about his case.
Wow.
So
What the world? What
He
the hell?
did, and we saw this when we went to Alcatraz a few years ago, the crime museum, way before we started the podcast. There's a painting that he did that's the MLB, and it's autographed by baseball players.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And some of his paintings he did, he was really talented. It's
Yeah.
crazy how good he was.
Well, David was telling me a little bit ago that actually one of his paintings sold for $8,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
really,
He's
which
painted
is like, geez.
there's actually in the museum it's a semi truck, and it's got Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs painted on it that he did.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
that's
some cool
true.
one.
Lackadaisy, what she said,
Yeah.
entrepreneur once won, always won.
yeah, I mean, I guess he wasn't really a dumb guy, but he was
His
dumb.
IQ was 118.
But he wasn't.
Still got me beat. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't even know what mine is.
Yeah, so there's a difference in accounts of Gacy's last words. I think the famous one
Was kiss my ass.
was "kiss my ass." Yeah, which I was getting to.
Sorry.
Thank you, Jackie. But when he said that, a lot of people think he was like sitting in the chamber, like ready to be killed. And he wasn't. Apparently, that was allegedly said to a prison guard on the way to the execution chamber. And then they reported that his last words were taking my life would not compensate for the loss of others, and that this was the state murdering him.
Oh yeah.
Which he denied it to the end. I think there were multiple times where he, one day he would confess to a handful of the killings. Other days, no, that wasn't me. I was framed. And
Oh yeah. So he was all over
he
the
never
place.
really wanted to take responsibility for his actions.
Yeah. Did they say what his last meal was?
I have that actually. It was shrimp, Kentucky fried chicken, and French fries. But he also got to have a picnic with his family on the prison grounds before his execution.
Does his family actually want to have a picnic with him?
It says right here that he
Wow.
was able to have a private picnic with his family on the prison grounds. And later that evening, he was observed praying prayers with a Catholic priest prior to be taken to the execution chamber because his death was scheduled for midnight.
Imagine being the kids. What are you gonna do today? Go and have a picnic with my dad that's on death row.
He's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how
Sure.
awkward that would be? I guarantee they didn't talk. He probably just sat there and they stared and then they left.
They ate KFC and all that good stuff. Yeah.
You couldn't pay me enough to go see. I don't care if he's my father or what he is,
Yeah.
to go see him
No.
At that point,
after what you've done.
yeah.
I don't want to.
At that point, I've completely shut you out of my life.
Yeah.
At
I
that
don't
point,
know.
You don't exist. You're dead to me already.
Yeah. Now you had stated too, Chris, and I don't know if you were going, to mention it, that something had happened during his execution, right? With the IV or something.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
one of the IV lines for the chemical to be injected actually clogged. So it took a total of 18 minutes for his execution to happen. They had the curtains closed for 8 minutes and then got the clog fixed, and then his execution took place after that.
So I wonder how long lethal injection actually takes without that happening. I wonder how long, like what the time is. I mean, I'm sure it's within minutes, but
Well,
I'm just
yeah,
curious.
I think different people react different ways. I think it's supposed to be relatively quick. They've argued the constitutionality of the lethal injection due to the fact that it's not like immediate.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think if we had to talk about like what's not going to harm you or hurt you, whatever, I would honestly think that putting a gas mask on and just running nitrogen into it
Would be the
Yeah.
quickest.
would just put you to sleep.
Yeah.
and kill you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that would be
Yeah.
Yeah.
More humane
Did you know he was
methods.
pronounced dead at 12:58 a.m. and his brain was taken out and donated to Dr. Um, Helen Morrison for the purpose of researching serial killers and trying to determine whether there was a biological connection to their need to kill?
Well, see, in the defense, and those
Really?
psychologists
Mhm.
ended up getting their way anyway, because during the trial they were talking about that it would be a shame to have him go to prison because they wouldn't be able to study him as thoroughly in regards to what he had done to try to prevent future occurrences and that sort of
But
thing. You can still talk to him in prison. Like,
Mhm.
you know,
yeah,
what's stopping you from
interviewing him.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, because people do that all the time. I mean, people interviewed, Manson all the
Right.
time. They interviewed what was his name?
BTK.
Kemper all the time too,
Right.
BTK. Hell, BTK's daughter went and interviewed the last time that she decided to talk to him. She went and sat down with him too as well. I mean,
Right.
anybody can. That's true. Um, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's I didn't know they took his brain out. So they got their way anyway. They still get
Mhm.
to study the guy. So there
But
you go.
what did that solve by getting his brain? You said you're trying to
They're trying to see
prevent
if
from
there's
further, but
a biological reason why serial killers have that need to kill.
I think there's something wrong with
but
your medulla oblongata.
medulla.
Oblongata.
But the thing is though is that it didn't help us. It didn't prevent nothing. There's
Holy
still
cow.
serial killers out there.
So for the lethal injection, it can take up to 7 minutes, but complications could take up to 2 hours.
Well, I mean, look at Gacy. It took
Yeah,
18 to
15
20
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah.
Complications. I just think, electric chair, hit it the old fashioned
Zzz.
way, fire it up,
But you can
you
have
know?
failures on those, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, you can set the person you're killing on fire, and that's
Yeah.
probably worse to see than
Well,
anything else.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's messed up, but we're killing them. So if they're on fire, I don't know. But anyways,
Yeah.
tomato, tomato. I don't know. Who am I to judge? But uh, so yeah, it's John Gacy is quite the story for sure for anybody that was listening tonight that did not know anything about him. Hopefully, you know a little bit more. Not like many people really want to know more, but um, he's one of the well-known killers, for sure. So,
We had to talk about him.
oh
There
yeah, yeah,
you
he's in
go.
the, main beginning video for
He's
the
in the, like,
show, and
top
he's in a
10
lot
of
of,
serial killers for
yeah,
everybody.
yeah, he is. He's in the top
Oh,
10.
yeah.
So, um, next week it's going to be just criminology, Chris and I. So the two badasses. Classroom Jackie will not be here; she'll be out of town.
I'm just
So
chopped liver. They're the badasses. I'm the liver.
it's it'll be Chris and I, and we'll let you know. We have not decided who we're going to do yet, but we'll post it and let you know here within the next day or so. We're not just going to do sounds of our motorcycles,
As much as they want to, I told them no.
even though we've talked about it, or doing like a tool time thing, and he
I
can
don't think so,
be
I don't
Tim.
think so.
Al. Yeah.
We don't
So,
think so, Tim.
but we'll figure it out and we'll let you guys know.
Social media Jackie will let you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't let anybody know shit.
They tell me and
Um,
I just post the stuff, okay?
so what was I gonna oh, don't forget to I forgot to plug it all in the beginning. Follow us on social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. That is at Murder Show. And we do appreciate it. And YouTube here at as well. If you have not subscribed to us, please do. We're at 57 subscribers now. Hit the subscribe button and click that little bell, which will notify you every time we go live. Other than that, we hope that everybody has a great remainder of your weekend, and a great week next week. And until then, we will see all you guys next Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will let Jackie take you guys out of here.
Same crime time, same crime place.